Welcome to Design Diary, the podcast where you get to look inside my board game design notebook as well as what's going on inside my head. We look at a new word each day from the sense of mechanics, tone, theme, or inspiration for a full game. Today's word is
Noisome. Noxious, harmful, offensive to the senses, and especially the sense of smell, highly obnoxious or objectionable. I missed that last one, highly obnoxious or objectionable.
Yeah, I missed that too.
Because that's actually easier to go off of.
Although I think mine actually kind of fits into that.
Do you want to?
Because I think it would be a game that I would hate to play, but would kind of love to design. So a comment that I've said multiple times about Millennium Blades is that it uses this giant game of so many cards in limited time. It actually uses reading comprehension as kind of a skill and a resource that you need to be able to get through the game, because you need to be able to understand how these cards can combo together. Because if you try and play this combo and someone calls you out on it, you have wasted your entire kind of build up to that showdown. And Millennium Blades is a great game if you haven't played it.
I haven't, but we've
it's so good.
Been itching to.
Yeah, if you like Keyforge and all that kind of stuff, you like Millennium Blades. So my game is that I wanted it specifically to be very visually busy on purpose, just like a really cluttered game that just has iconography that is inscrutable. You have no idea what it is. There aren't easy to read silhouettes. There aren't shapes that match pieces in the game. It is just nonsense. And so I wanted them to be interpretive. So players have cards or locations that they need to go to, and they can interpret what this jumble of symbols and numbers actually means. To be like, oh, this green blob is me, and that means I get 3 cards because it shows these 3 things over here, and that means I get this. Anyone else agree? So those who agree with you can also take that action. But those who don't,
a mini concept within the game.
Yes, exactly.
The game concept.
Yeah, so you are all deciding about what these icons mean throughout the game. So if you encounter that green symbol later on, you can, according to this previous one that you all decided on, green means you. Green means the active player. And so I'm imagining these locations, and people can put their put tokens on there to say, like, yeah, I agree with this. When I go here, I can do the same thing that other person did. But then if you don't agree with what the person interpreted, they are free. The other people are free to do their own action, and so you can either disagree with the person and not be able to take that exact same action, but you can interpret your own without being kind of challenged by a higher authority. So it would have to be less than the previous action, but it could still be all sorts of weird. So I have no idea what kind of game this is, and I would hate to play it, but just like designing a bunch of nonsense symbols that match up to nothing in gaming would be great.
Yeah, that's interesting. I can see it though. Like I totally can. Like I love concept and the idea of taking that and putting it as mechanics within a game and things like that. It's really interesting. So I have a story and an idea here.
Yes.
The story. I'm just gonna go with the story. So we were coming out of Walgreens, which is our drugstore around here, if anybody has Walgreens or doesn't know what they are. And next to my car was something that we couldn't tell what it was. And it was either, and this is the name of the game, dog poop or a donut. So dog poop or donut is this game that we stood there for quite a while trying to figure out if it was like it was like a chocolate cake donut potentially, or a piece of dog poop. So we stood there and we were like fascinated in like, how would you tell? Like, we had to know what it was. How would you know? The only thing that led us to believe it was a donut is there's a donut place right there. But it really, really looked like both of them. So we were like, how would you know? Like, someone's got to get close enough to smell it, or someone's going to poke it. God forbid somebody tastes it. Like, it was just this whole thing. And we were just like, we were fascinated that we couldn't even leave without knowing what it was, because we were just that fascinated by it. But yeah, that was the inception of a game called Dog Poop.
So what method did you try first? Touch, smell, or taste?
So we just talked about it because we were
assuming you did all three.
We were afraid to do any of them. The solution was that you poke it with a stick.
Okay.
And the consistency would show.
But then in my mind, I'm just thinking that it might be like a moist donut.
That's what I'm saying. There was no way to tell, and we never took we never took a photo of it, but it was unbelievable how it looked like both. So I was thinking, and I didn't get very far, in just those things that you can't tell if it's one or the other. And this one was inspired by the smell, but like things that could be different. It could be different things.
Okay.
But my design idea was very different than that, and I wanted to see a visual of the way that like scents can track through the air and then merge with other things, because they'll like kind of dissipate as they get further away from their source. And if you visualize that in like, let's say like pixels or something, it would be really interesting to see like it's really dense and then it starts to go away and other ones start to merge in, almost like that what is that new game that's like super popular, the Snakes IO or whatever that one is. I don't know, some app that everybody's playing, and you're just growing this blob on the screen and trying to make it bigger. So I thought of these like smokestacks, and I didn't decide whether they should be like bad fumes or whether it should be like restaurants putting out good fumes, or something's completely toxic. But whatever it is, these scents are going up into the air, and they're going straight up, and it's going to be represented by like buildings on a board. And then I thought of like feathers or some sort of like stiff paper that goes upward, and it can go really tall, and it's got to be stiff enough like cardstock or something that can go straight up. And however you build it up and however much you use it determines at the end of the round or the use how tall the piece that you connect to the top is. So these are all straight up, and it's this really cool looking board with these feather-like papers going straight up. Everybody's does their thing, and at the end of the round, like the wind is going to blow. And I didn't decide whether this is like somebody's arm just swipes from left to right and knocks them all down, or something's actually blowing it. But what I wanted to see was when they go down, how they cover each other. The tall ones cover the short ones, the closer ones to the source cover a little bit, and it creates this like visual of where the scents went and how they landed and lingered. It's not perfectly correct because, one that's closer and covering it that's not going to happen in real life. But I wanted this like visual. And then once the scents have landed, then you evaluate the board state, and it's either a good thing or a bad thing, depending on the theme, if yours are still showing. So that's where I got with it. Like I've been like on this weird area control kick. Like when I say weird, like weird area control, not like not a weird kick, but weird area control. I will describe
that as a weird area control game.
But yeah, I think of it's odd how offensive to the smell creates a visual in my head, and yours was visual too.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that neither of us did a scratch and sniff game, but.
Yeah, I thought about those like jelly beans that are terrible.
Just leaves it open for later on.
Yeah, I definitely thought about that. I thought about those eating those terrible jelly beans and stuff, but
smell is so connected to taste that makes sense.
I don't know. I nobody would want to play that, and it would probably work like 5 times, and then you'd lose the smell.
Yeah, I don't think the world is demanding a scratch and sniff game. So I think we've got time.
The only person would be my wife. She has a big scratch and sniff sticker collection. So
Interesting.
they all have like there's like 8 cents, like the pepperoni pizza, the bubble gum. There's only so many of them. They all kind of have the same thing, but it does make me think of the pepperoni pizza scent. That's like the one I think of. All right.
I think of grass. Like, I don't even know.
Really?
Now I want to smell the pizza one.
Oh yeah, the pepperoni pizza one is just a super specific, like 80s scratch and sniff sticker. That would be the game, the pizza scent. You know, just anything pizza is a
Oh yeah, pizza is a great setting.
A good setting.
That works for me.
All right, so next time, I hope the words are better, but I know the word is better. It was a cool one.
Yay! Wonderful.
All right.
I'll talk to you.
See ya.
Bye.